Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&Chew Guy, and this is an add-on review. This is an add-on to Series 9 Premium pouches. This will be the 20th review, or the 20 spot, saying that I skipped the 13. So as you just saw, it will be of Skoal straight pouches, and as you also just saw, it is a Canadian can. The reason for this is that this product was officially discontinued by Skoal in the United States in late 2018. That said, I hadn't seen it on shelves for the entirety of 2018, but according to official sources, Skoal straight pouches was discontinued in late 2018. However, the product does survive in its Canadian form. So let's take a look at the packaging. So you have a Canadian can. It's got a metal lid, raised boxed rim in bronze. Up top is basically what amounts to the English warning label, and down low in white is what amounts to the French warning label. Fact that it's straight, it is by Skoal, and it is pouches. Down here is the manufacturer's information. The product is made in the United States for the Canadian entity of U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company, which is the National Tobacco Company Ltd. of Pointe Claire, Province, Quebec, Canada. Okay. Up top in the silver there is just the fact that it is smokeless tobacco, and in this case they had to say it twice because one of the times is in French. Going to the side, you have the French warning label, barcode, the English warning label, the Canadian tax stamp for tobacco, which is really cool. I haven't seen any product in probably since my youth that actually has a real tax stamp. When I was very young, cigarettes still had it. And then they moved over to something that sort of resembled it, but I don't know if it actually was a real tax stamp or they were just trying to keep the feel of that. And then the Skoal branding. Okay, the can is 23.25 grams. Off the top of my head, I do not know what that exactly works into ounces. I'm going to try to remove this tax stamp because it's peeled back anyway. And if I can get this thing off whole, that'd be pretty cool. I had gotten one off one of the Skoal Dark cans. That is a beautiful thing. Sort of cool. Anyway, so I'm going to cut into this. I hadn't had Skoal pouches. It's probably been at least 5 years. Now, there is no tough cut on where the band goes over on itself. There is no sell-by date on these cans. But I did find it odd that there is the guaranteed fresh stamped can. Now, I can't quite remember the Skoal Dark review, but I thought they were in like generic cans. This one is actually in a U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company guaranteed fresh stamped can. So that's sort of nice. So popping the product open, we have a little bit of moisture on the lid. I sort of like the Canadian cans, that the fact that they're completely flat. And when you look inside the lid, It's a very, it gives the feel of being very sturdy. So, pretty strong, good straight smell. It is the smell of Skoal straight. That's what it registers. If somebody put this can in front of my nose with my eyes closed and I didn't know what it was, I'd say Skoal straight. So that's what it's looking like in there. Now, it's pretty uniform. You know what? I'm starting to wonder if moving this light up on products is doing anybody any favors. Pretty uniform. The pouches are pretty darn moist. They're not soaking wet, but they're moist. They're definitely moist, as it's very slight, but there is a little moisture on the lid. I don't know if you can see that or not. So I'm going to throw a couple of these in because I haven't had any Skoal straight for a while, because that was the first series. That's the first playlist, and that was in early September. I will be back in a moment. Okay, and I am back. Let me slide this around the side real quick. Okay, so basically, flavor-wise, Skoal straight. Okay, now for some reason, if you do not know what Skoal straight tastes like, it's basically a middle-of-the-road straight, not overly sweet, but sweet enough. It does have its own, it stands out. I would be able, if I was blind test tasting dips, I would immediately recognize Skoal straight. Okay? Although that said, I probably recognize and be able to call most straights, but it has its own flavor. It's not too sweet. There's not a tang to it. It's not like Stoker's. In the long cut version, it tends to lean a little bit on the dry side, sort of like the Grizzly regular straight. It's not as sweet as the Copenhagen product, and there is no smoky flavoring at all. Okay, it's sort of just a straight. All right. It's good though, and actually I prefer it over the Grizzly Premium Straight. So this tastes like that. If you don't know what that tastes like, then in America you can easily find that. Now, doing these reviews, I'm doing this to be thorough, really, because really at the end of the day, Canadians are so limited that they all know what this is already. And Americans, in 99 out of 100 times, are not going to be in position where they voluntarily go and buy a can of dip for $20. So how much of help to anybody this review is, I don't know. I'm just doing it so this channel will be as thorough as it can be. This product, though, it's good. Every once in a while, there is a situation where getting something out cleanly is a good thing for me, and pouches come in use in that scenario. Doesn't happen a lot, but you know, the other thing is, as I've said many times, if I'm going to go with a pouch product, then I might as well eliminate spitting anyway. So I usually go with snus, but obviously there's no snus that comes in a straight flavor. Okay, and straight is, mind you, Stoker's, but straight is my everyday dip. So it's something I prefer flavor-wise, and there are occasions where I can sort of spit on the down low, but being able to get a product out of my mouth cleanly, quickly is a plus, and that's when pouches come in. And these are pretty good. Now, this review is thanks Dirty Pat Walsh. So, Pat, I thank you. Me and him have a private arrangement, one-on-one, where products are traded off. So that's how I came about this. But yeah, it's a viable option if one was in the rare instance where it was available at a good deal. My arrangement with Pat makes this actually a good deal for me, so that's why I have it. Nicotine's there. Straight flavor is sort of leaning towards plain Jane, but it's good. Juice is up. I'm running a little dry because of heat. I'm having to run here. Packaging is good. I was not on the scene when all Canadian cans were all plastic, but the metal can is very. I like it actually. I like the flat metal. It just feels more. It feels more sturdy to me. It actually even feels a little heavier to me. I don't. That could be my imagination. The product comes in good shape, and it's got a normal U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company guaranteed fresh stamped can, which are great cans, really. So all in all, this is a pleasant experience, and I will dip the entire can. Probably tomorrow, because I'm going to be in one of those situations tomorrow, as I just found out a little while ago. So this has been the review of Skoal straight pouches, discontinued in the United States, but they live on in the Canadian version. They are Skoal straight, flavor-wise. Nicotine's all right. It's not the highest, but it's not the lowest by any means. They juice up pretty good and they taste good. Okay? So, I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy. I'd like to say hello and thank you to Mountain Men and John York. Thank you, guys. And a couple other gentlemen popped up that I didn't really recognize. So I'm going to say hello and I guess thank you as well to Travis Herbert, and Sebastian Lavenant. Lavenant? I know. Lord knows how I get some of these pronunciations, but I try, right? So, guys, do check out Berg's Dip Reviews, Winnington Outdoors, Dirty Pat Walsh, who is to thank for this review. Wayside Lee, 83, Real Talk Studios, No Bluff Buff, and snoozefreak.com, the channel on YouTube. I hope everyone is well. I will be along in a little while with a chew review. Do take care of yourselves, and God bless.